everyone, and welcome to FCN Prime News. Can somebody hit the teleprompter, though? All right. Welcome to the 7 p.m. show that's starting 17 minutes late. It's your fault, actually. We were waiting for you guys to show up, so here we are. I'm Tresene. I'm your anchor for tonight, and we are here to give you the news as you guys wanted to hear news from a perspective that matters to you. Y'all know how we do here at Prime News. We bring you the news that you guys want to hear. So, as always, hit us up with the topics and the questions that you want explored, and we'll answer them during one of our broadcasts. The FCN email address is contact@thefifthcolumnnetwork.com. Our Twitter is @FCN_Prime. And of course, you can always message us on Facebook. As always, we are simulcasting live on Facebook and YouTube, so you know what that means. Don't be shy. Tell us what you really think in the comments. Just keep it nice, or not. Before we jump into the news for today, can y'all do us a quick favor? Share this broadcast. Share it to your page, share it on your Twitter page, let your friends, your family, or whomever else y'all know that you're watching this tonight, okay? Don't keep all the fun to yourselves now. I'll wait for y'all to go ahead and do that. Just hold on. Y'all got some whole music or something to, no? Nothing for them?
Some whole music?
Some whole music? No, hold.
There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. There's some...
Near baggage claim at the an alarm clock. Where did he get this explosive starter kit from? Please tell me. Next to the tiki torches? No? Listen, I don't know much about building explosives, but I do know what an 80s action movie bomb looks like, okay? The bomb was deemed to be an explosive. It was real, but it was defective. Could that be because he was missing the red and blue wires? Come on, we all know there's supposed to be red and blue wires with a bomb. Anywho, the FBI had to become involved, collecting evidence on the scene, including surveillance video from the airport to identify the person responsible for leaving the package. It took them a little over 24 hours to find this dude. Wait. It took y'all 24 hours. So y'all got the TSA and their pat downs. Their breast curvature pat downs. Ladies, you know how they do, right? They got their belt and shoe removals. They got their metal detectors and their weird squishing technique, you know, so they can make sure my hairpins aren't some weapon of mass destruction. But they ain't got nothing in place to catch folks in real time, physically leaving suspicious packages on the curb of the street right outside the terminal. Our airports in this nation have got to be the most backwards running operations I've ever seen. I think they've taken the place above the DMV, right? Anyway, here's a picture of the guy they arrested on Saturday. His name is Michael Estes. He's been charged with attempted malicious use of explosive materials and unlawful possession of explosives at an airport. And according to court documents, he has admitted to leaving this mason jar at the airport because he is getting ready to fight a war on U.S. soil. He's alive, by the way, and hasn't been dragged by mainstream media. Because as we learned last week during the Las Vegas shooting, whites cannot commit acts of terrorism absent a conversion to Islam. They can't even be terrorists even if they expressly share that they're trying to incite a civil war amongst their own people. They're just nuisances that have to be put away in jail forever and treated as an exception to the rule. You know, just a bad apple. Speaking of domestic terrorism that keeps getting overlooked, as promised, we have updates for you on the fatal shooting of Patrick Harmon by our rogue police officer in Salt Lake City, which we reported on Monday's show. This update is certainly going to take you for a ride. So let's roll the commercial, and we'll be back on the update on the decision of the Salt Lake City District Attorney to involve the FBI in this case.
Evil Corp, we are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent, ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
Everybody, welcome back. We got a comment during the commercial break that asked, why did we use a picture of Patrick, of him in jail? And I want to let you guys know, I had no idea that that was a picture of him in jail. I literally was trying to just avoid the pictures of him that are in the video. And I was like, oh, he looks nice. I paid no attention to that. And I want to say that I'm so sorry and apologetic, because that would never be the intent of FCN. We definitely would never do that, particularly to one of our own. So I want to apologize for that, and thank you for pointing that out. I'll certainly be much more careful next time. So continue with the story. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we're back. And if you're just now tuning in or you're a first-time viewer, we want to say welcome. As always, we are still live and bringing you the news that you want to hear from a perspective that matters to you. So please hit us up in the comments with questions or thoughts, just as that particular viewer did, and we'll be sure to answer them just as we did. So on to this second story for tonight about Patrick Harmon. On Monday, we reported on the fatal shooting of the 50-year-old Harmon after he was pulled over on his bicycle on August 13th, 2017 for crossing 6 lanes of traffic and a median without the required red taillight. The traffic stop did result in Patrick being shot 3 times by a police officer after he had already begun to flee away from the officers. He was shot once in the left hip, once in the arm, and once in his side. He was in critical condition on the scene and later died at a nearby hospital. After a 7-week investigation into the shooting, which was complete with full body cam footage from beginning to end, the Salt Lake City District Attorney declined to bring charges against the officer who fired the shots. The district attorney said that they found sufficient evidence to support the officer's statement that he feared for his life. Social media, the Harmon family, and activists went crazy because the body cam footage, which does show that Harmon had a knife in his possession, was running away from police when the shots were fired. Not just beginning to run away. No. He was many arm lengths away from police when the officer fired those shots. Yes, the officer feared for his life as Harmon was fleeing away. So now, a few days later, after announcing no charges would be brought, it was announced that the district attorney reached out to the FBI in a written letter formally requesting an investigation into the case. Patrick's nephew spoke to media and said that he was so pleased that the DA would send a letter asking the FBI to jump in. Lord. The FBI ain't gonna do nothing, nephew. It's a trick, a scam. It is the appearance of doing something, knowing it won't work out, but not telling you that so that they can look like they're doing all they can. We've seen this before. Anybody ever been in the business of customer service? You know your company's policies, yet you have someone complaining about something you simply cannot, or you know your employer will not, redress. So what do? You pretend to do everything you can. You talk to everyone you can, this supervisor, that manager, knowing ain't nothing gonna change. But you're being so nice and warm that when you give the customer the final no, the customer is disarmed and truly thinks you tried. Yeah, that's this situation. How do we know this? First, the DA's letter to the FBI comes 2 days after protesters called for him to be fired over the investigation. 2, the FBI has a history of not doing a thing in police shooting cases. According to a 2016 special report by the Chicago Tribune, which focused just on 702 police shootings in Chicago over a specific period of time, not one federal enforcement official has brought criminal civil charges against an officer in these shootings. Matter of fact, an examination of government data and interviews show federal authorities have only brought civil rights charges against law enforcement in Chicago in about 24 cases or so. But guess what? None of them involve shootings of citizens by police. 0. In that same report, it concluded that this is a standard throughout the entire nation, not just Chicago. Department of Justice officials shared in that report that as much as they would like to bring more federal civil rights cases, their hands are tied by laws that require them to prove that officers acted willfully. That is, that they intentionally sought to deprive someone of their constitutional rights, which is not the same as incompetence, bad training, or poor judgment. Completely different legal standard. It is, by all accounts, a very high bar for prosecutors to overcome. See, local police can charge for recklessness or negligence, but not federal prosecutors. Nope. So basically what I'm saying is that in these cases, the FBI has less power and the Salt Lake City DA knows it. So backwards, you think the federal prosecutors will have more tools in the shed than the local prosecutors. So I'm sorry to the Harmon family. That letter from the Salt Lake DA to the FBI is a play. He knows that when the federal prosecutor declines to press charges, it will make his decision not to press charges look justified, when really it's a matter of a different legal standard. I said it on Monday, and I'm gonna say it today. Until and unless laws and legal standards are changed in this nation regarding legal process, Black, brown, Asian, Native Americans, immigrants are going to remain on this hamster wheel of injustice. Voting isn't enough. Protesting isn't enough. It is the ousting of folk to put your own in their place, to directly make change to laws where you start. All right, if you have a comment or a thought or a question, share it in the comments. We definitely want to hear from y'all. In the meantime, we're heading to commercial and we're going to hear from the talented journalist and sports guy, J.Co. And he's going to tell you about corruption in the soccer world, sports teams boycotting Trump hotels, and the unintelligent remark by former sports journalist Keith Olbermann. And of course, he's going to touch on the MLB playoffs. Stay tuned.
Hello, Evil Corp. We are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent, ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
Welcome back. This is J. Co at J. Co Is It, and I'm here with FCN Prime News Sports. In our top story tonight, more corruption in the soccer world. The World Soccer Organization, is it FIFA? I'm not a big soccer fan. Football? FIFA. FIFA is football. Okay, we're going to go with that. FIFA. So I'm going to do a really quick breakdown of the history of recent corruption in FIFA. In 2015, it was a huge world story. Sepp Blatter, which was the president of FIFA at that time, resigned under an investigation. 2016, there was a criminal investigation that began because of that investigation or that resignation of Sepp Blatter. So we fast forward now, 2017, and today the Swiss federal prosecutors opened a criminal case for suspected bribery linked to the World Cup broadcasting rights against Paris Saint-Germain Qatari chairman and CEO Nasser Al-Khelaifi. While this investigation is linked to broadcast rights, I have to imagine that it also includes Qatar being awarded hosting rights for the 2022 World Cup back in 2010. These rights are what initially opened that investigation that led to Blatter's resignation. Now, there were others involved. The corruption goes much deeper than these two men. And as a fan of sports, I really do hate it when corruption kind of taints, sports. I don't like it when that interrupts. And it's the headline. I mean, from everything from Little League Baseball on up to the biggest sport in the world, football, or as you guys call it, soccer, you guys being Americans. I'm an American too, though, so I guess I call it soccer also. Soccer, yes. It happens on every level in every country. And it's funny because we like to act like America has this monopoly on corruption. I'm sure Robert Goodell probably overestimates his place in the sports world as a whole. I mean, the president of FIFA has entire countries vying for his attention, for bidding for this World Cup each year, or every 4 years as they hold it. What's the biggest presentation that anyone gave to Goodell? What was it recently? Vegas came out and was like, hey, let's have an NFL team in Vegas, right? I mean, that's a good place for a team. I don't know why they're giving Spencer Strasmore so much trouble with him bringing that out there, but I don't know. It's crazy. So I just stick to baseball, which, is not corrupt at all.
No, not at all.
Major League Baseball, the least corrupt sport in the world.
At least the Western world.
At least the Western world.
Well, at least North America.
At least North America. Only behind college basketball.
And the NFL.
And the NFL. Why am I repeating everything that my crew is saying to me? I don't know. It just sounded good at the time. Speaking of baseball, got to touch on my Major League Baseball playoffs. Now, I'm going to admit I have a Derek Jeter jersey, and I looked everywhere for it. I was going to wear the Derek Jeter jersey to eat crow because my prediction, which as you guys will know from watching me over and over again, was horribly wrong. I am the worst predictor you will ever see, and yet I will always brag on how I'm right. The Yankees beat Cleveland in the first. Cleveland was my World Series winner, and they lost in the first round to the New York Yankees. So the Reggie Mathis, he called that one. Of course, the Revolution. So crow I'm eating, but I guess in some sort of protest, I'm wearing my St. Louis Cardinals jersey. Anyway, on to other subjects. I can't protest. That's not the way to protest.
Not a good place.
Please, you're right. No, you're right. I shouldn't be protesting in that way. It's another.
White privilege.
I bring it with me everywhere I go. White privilege is a privilege. Okay. So, speaking of white privilege, 27 years of doubts about rap, I am now a fan. Best political writing of the year, period. Clap emoji, clap emoji, clap emoji. Hashtag Eminem 2020.
For what?
That's a presidential bid from Keith Olbermann to the now sort of bearded Eminem.
I thought that was a bid for Best Rapper Alive 2020.
Best Rapper Alive 2020. I don't think that was no, because then he would have just said this year. If it was Best Rapper Alive, apparently to Keith Olbermann, he's the best rapper alive right now, and the only rapper because he's the only reason why Olbermann is listening to rap music. I'm not gonna get into how okay it was for him to say that or how horribly wrong it was for him to say that. Twitter kind of blasted him. We have a tweet. It took a white guy to convince a fellow white guy about the validity of rap. How'd that sound? But I will mention that Mr. Olbermann, as a seasoned journalist, should have done a modicum of research before tweeting that tweet. There was so much wrong with that, starting off with the very first statement, 27 years. Where is this number coming from? Olbermann is not 27 years old. Rap has been along way longer than 27 years. Where is that number coming from? I don't know. What's going on? So he probably should not have said that, or very carefully considered it, rephrased it, and then, tweeted something else. Nah. Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Olbermann, ready to show your white privilege. As if I would never do that. And moving on. The room is quiet. I'm surrounded by black people right now. I'm going to just move on. So anyway, in our final story, the bottom of the sports world, apparently a journalist from the Washington Post, his name was David Fahrenthold, did an investigation, a very deep investigation on the NFL, on all major sports teams, NFL, MLB, hockey, as well as basketball. And apparently, all the major league teams, the professional teams that used to stay at Trump hotels, are no longer staying at them anymore. Some of the other leagues yet, but apparently they're investigating. What does this mean? Everybody hates Donald Trump. I mean, is there anything else I actually need to say? But what just strikes me is that owners of these professional teams, all of them are older, rich, white guys. If you're losing the back end of the older, rich, white guys, how are you president? How did that happen? I'm still, I don't know, flabbergasted. But I'm just a humble sports journalist. What do I know about politics? That would be Trezenae's job. Maybe she can break that down for us at a later time. Speaking of Trezenae, we're going to kick it back to her. And I thank you guys for watching FCN Sports. See you next week.
Nothing on Trump. I don't feel like talking about Trump. What? What's happening? Okay. Got a little confusion. Commercial? We're going to go to commercial. Listen, I don't get paid enough for this confusion. We're going to kick it to commercial, y'all. We'll be right back.
Hello, Evil Corp. We are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent, ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
Oh, that's for me? Stop all Yankee hate! What's up? You can't. Yeah, but probably not even the music. This is the revolution. What's happening right now? Yeah. Yep. I don't know. What's happening? Is everything good? Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know what you did, Heather. You over there screwing up. Nevertheless, I am the Revolution, and welcome back to FCN Prime News. And we are gonna talk all things pop culture right now. I'm sorry that we had this little thing where I'm like, what is that? Who's what? What's that? I don't know. I'm just listening to producers behind the scenes. It's a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of chefs, and like maybe a couple cooks. I don't know. But nevertheless, I'm on right now, and we're gonna talk about pop culture. And we're gonna start off with none other than what Josh kind of gave me a prelim for, and I'm going to segue into that right now. We're going to talk about the Eminem Cypher on Tuesday's Hip Hop Awards. Was it the Hip Hop Awards? What is that? BET Awards. The BET Awards, period? I don't know. I don't watch it. Yeah, I just watch the Cyphers later. Nevertheless, Eminem gave probably one of his most scathing performances on the BET platform known as the BET Awards in their cypher. I believe we have the clip for those over 29 who didn't see it. Let's see this Eminem cypher at y'all's presidents, because he's not my president. My president is still G.W. Bush.
It's the calm before the storm right here. Wait, how was I gonna start this off? I forgot. Oh yeah. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got till I come up with a solid. Got a plan and now I gotta hatch it like a damn Apache with a tomahawk. I'ma walk inside a mosque on Ramadan and say a prayer that every time talks, she gets a mouth. I'ma stop. But we better give Obama props, cause what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for shit to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops. Intensity's heightened, tensions are rising. Trump, when it comes to giving a shit, you're stingy as I am. Except when it comes to having the balls to go against me, you hide them. Cause you don't got the nuts like an empty asylum. Racism's the only thing he's fantastic for. Cause that's how he gets his rocks off and he's orange. Yeah, sick tan. That's why he wants us to disband, cause he cannot withstand the fact we're not afraid of Trump walking on eggshells. I came to stomp. That's why he keeps screaming, drain the swamp, cause he's in quicksand. It's like we take a step forwards, then backwards. But this is his form of distraction. Plus he gets an enormous reaction when he attacks the NFL, so we focus on that instead of talking Puerto Rico with gun reform for Nevada, all these horrible tragedies, and he's bored and would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers. Then says he wants to lower our taxes. Then who's gonna pay for his extravagant trips back and forth with his fam to his golf resorts and his mansions? Same shit that he tormented Hillary for and he slandered, then does it more. From his endorsement of banning support for the Klansmen, tiki torches in hand for the soldier that's black and comes home from Iraq and is still told to go back to Africa, fork and a dagger in this racist 94-year-old grandpa who keeps ignoring our past historical deplorable factors. Now if you're a black athlete, you're a spoiled little brat for trying to use your platform or your stature to try to give those a voice who don't have one. He says you're spitting in the face of vets who fought for us, you bastards. Unless you're a POW who's tortured and battered, because to him you're zeros because he don't like his war heroes captured. That's not disrespecting the military. That. This is for Colin. Ball up a fist. And keep that shit balled like Donald the bitch. He's gonna get rid of all immigrants. He's gonna build that thing up taller than this. Well, if he does build it, I hope it's rock solid with bricks. Cause like him in politics, I'm using all of his tricks. Cause I'm throwing that piece of shit against the wall till it sticks. And any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against. And if you can't decide who you like more and you're split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this. You. The rest of America, stand up. We love our military and we love our country, but we hate Trump!
Yo, it was, I wish you all were in the studio because Joshua, the J. Cole was actually watching, J. Cole was actually watching, he said, oh, Eminem just did the Black Power. He just did the Black Power fist. So that is what I want to talk about tonight, is how everyone responded to that cipher. Everyone on social media, especially celebrities, athletes, praised Eminem. Like we had, let's see here, who was the list of people? We had LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, J. Cole, Diddy. They all praised him and saluted and thanked the legendary MC for his raw talent and the lyrics, man. I mean, incendiary lyrics to Donald Trump, who apparently, you know, I think Kanye made sure to say that George Bush doesn't like black people, but I think this dude really doesn't like black people or Asian people or Native Americans or gays or the disabled or women. Well, he likes women. Just the really hot ones. And the ones that know how to shut up. I go to Yankee games all the time. It's huge. So here's the thing. A lot of people were praising Eminem. However, there is a cross-section of people in the black community who has not had the same excitement and praise for the top 10 greatest of all time MCs. One man, I said it, J-Rod. One of the, he's in the top 10 all time. One young man out there on Facebook, his name is M. Chan Speaks. He actually had a live post that, you know what? Let's just watch it. Can we roll that video?
First things first, Trump screwed over a lot of poor Caucasians, so don't think Eminem's vitriol towards Trump is solely rooted in him wanting to stand up for black people. But even if it was genuine, any Caucasian who wants to help us, their one job is to speak to their people, not speak to us, not for us to listen to them, not for us to follow them. Their one goal is to speak to their people, show them how crazy their asses are, and try to get them to stop. That's it. The reason why we have to totally ignore Eminem, because we have to understand the psychological and historical ramifications of this thing. When you allow a Caucasian to have any kind of say or lead in your movement, it lowers your guard and makes you more accepting to another Caucasian coming in. So the next time a Caucasian comes in, you think they're on your side, but it's Bill Clinton. And you think he's so cool, he's the first black president. Meanwhile, he's incarcerating all of your people. And this is why we got to ignore Eminem and any Caucasian who speaks out.
So, I went into the comments because I was more interested in what everyone had to say about it. And a lot of people were very upset with M. Chan Speaks' rhetoric about not listening to Eminem and we shouldn't listen to white people because they're pretty much are the enemy and we can't be distracted by them. Listen, I will say this. There's a little truth to what he's saying, and then there's a little truth to what other people are saying, that we need allies. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I think that we need allies. But here's what I would like to say in the editorial, in the op-ed piece right now. I want to say this. I think that what he wanted to say, but I can't speak for him, but I'm going to speak for myself on this issue. I think that we, as black people and other people of color, always see when a white person says the exact same thing, 10, 100, 1,000 black people, people of color, women, and other minorities, I was saying, that when a white person said it, it's like, oh God, yes, yes, oh, Hercules, Hercules. You know, you get excited when one of your fair-skinned cousins says the same thing what your brown-skinned brother has been saying the whole time. I think that is problematic because we tend to not listen to one another and we drown each other out. And I think that maybe we should spend more time congratulating and supporting somebody that look like you. Support. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Why don't you share this video? Because y'all Mickey Fickies, y'all so-and-sos out there looking real non-supportitude right now. I said it. So what? I say it again. He said what he said. Yup. So anyway, we moving on to my next story, which, buddy, I'm going to report on some other domestic terrorism that takes place here in America. Rape culture. Yeah, I said that. Rape culture is terrorism. It is terrorizing everybody that don't want your touches and comments and street harassment. I get street harassed all the time. I have a very voluptuous booty. And harassers. Harasser. And you see how quickly it is? Make one joke, people laugh. Does that mean they agree with it? But here's the issue. So I got to read this because this is or in this story, a beloved celebrity actor is in the news for making a rape joke in a public panel forum, crushing the hopes and dreams of women all over the globe. Yes, that celebrity is none other than Jason Momoa, Aquaman, Khal Drogo himself. The Bay of all bays, according to the most recent study of social media Bay rankings, which is true, I'm sure it is, who is most known for his role as Khal Drogo in HBO's Game of Thrones, has been thrust into the limelight for making the most ridiculously unnecessary comment about rape at a 2011 Comic-Con in San Diego. Did I really use the word thrusted? Yeah, I did. I'm always thrusting. I have the best air pump.
When you were talking about your voluptuous booty, your mom said, hey.
Oh!
She's like, I made that.
She did. Lord, what is wrong with me, right? What is wrong with me? Let's roll a video that surfaced recently because really, you guys have to hear it out of the Hawaiian's mouth. See what I mean?
But as far as sci-fi and fantasy, I love that genre. It's just that there's so many things you can do, like rip someone's tongue out of their throat and get away with it and rape beautiful women. You know? Next question.
Now, this is an awful time to be a celebrity, especially making rape humor like that, especially coming off the heels. And I don't even think we're coming off of it. We're still learning more about the Harvey Weinstein situation. Man, I don't know what to say after that, because I think that I'm most bothered by the fact that social media has been really quiet about this, and all the lovers and bae of Jason Momoa haven't said much. Matter of fact, I think we have a handful of tweets. Can we see what these tweets said?
At Meg Assens.
Okay.
Everyone laughing after Jason Momoa jokes about rape is rape culture. That laughter is why victims don't come forward.
Okay, ask a quick question. What's the ethnicity of that person?
It's a picture of Superwoman, so I can't. I
Okay.
mean Wonder Woman, so I can't.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
I'm going to assume white. Okay, continue.
All right.
Okay, white. Against.
At IMGM Johnson.
Uh-huh.
Jason Momoa. He a man, right? Men is still trash, right? Oh, okay. I was just checking.
Ooh. That was a black man, right?
It was.
Ooh, burn.
And Just Call Me Shelly said, Jason Momoa, WTF are you doing, dear? But then it had an Ice Cube, that picture. Ice Cube was like,
yeah, the Ice Cube face. That was it, huh?
that was it.
Man, so what? She was black, right? Okay, so social media was an outrage over Weinstein, but I'm not seeing the same energy. Can you all tell that there was the same energy in there? Like, we've been dragging Harvey Weinstein for over a week now, and Jason Momoa has received crickets. And here's something I just want to put out there. Is rape humor and any type of appropriate humor like this that affects women, is it only bad if the person is unattractive? If the person isn't a bae? And why is it that someone like Jason Momoa gets a pass? And then is it the same reason why someone like the Masters gets praised? I don't have the answers to this, but I have an opinion. And yes, all us beautiful people can get away with murder. Murder, I said. That is all for me. I'm probably going to be dragged and canceled. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Revolution, and this is Pop Culture. Take it away, Trezene.
Well, with that said, that's our show for tonight. How did y'all feel about it? Anything you wish we covered? Did you agree with us? Disagree with us? Let us know in the comments. At the same time, make sure to visit us on our website, thefifthcolumnnetwork.com. You can catch all of our episodes, the latest ones, the first ones. You got talent bios. You can learn about our social causes that we have. In the meantime, stay tuned for the Scandal pregame show with Starla K. Mathis coming up at about 8:30. She'll be back with wine and her fabulous guest, Gabby Dre. they recap the premiere episode of the final season, have an entertaining game show, and they'll be giving your predictions for tonight's episode. You do not want to miss out on this pre-cap show. Okay, so go ahead, grab your favorite bottle of wine, get some popcorn, and then come back for all things Scandal. And with that,